Welcome back. Everybody wants to find the best driveaway company out there so that they can make the most money for the amount of time they're out there on the road. You're just starting out, you want to minimize mistakes. Everyone wants to be successful in this game for your own reasons. Maybe you want to spend more time with your family, maybe you want to have more money to spend on your family, maybe you just want to see the country. And you need to answer those questions first. Everybody has a different comfort level with what they're willing to accept and not accept. And the process here of finding the best driveway company is something only you can do. The companies I love and I work with, you may find horrible. You can't stand them. Just because I like a company doesn't mean you will like it. Too many times, and there's so much more to a driveway company than just what they pay. What if you get a company paying $2 a mile, but when you break down, it takes them a day or longer to get back with you, and you have no tow car? Would you rather get that $2 a mile and they don't pay breakdown? You're sitting there on the clock, not getting paid, or would you rather go with a company that pays $1 a mile and they answer within 2 minutes, and they're sending a record to get you within 30 minutes and they're paying you breakdown? Which one would you rather go with? There are over like 100 driveway companies, and every one of them are different. This is why when you go to the forum and ask, what's the best driveway company to go with? It's a silly question. It's a uneducated question that you don't know enough about this business to ask the right question. And honestly, the right question is, what is the best driveway company for me? And the only one who can answer that is you. Unfortunately, the real truth to Driveaway is you're going to have to lease to several companies over a period of time to find which companies are best for you. Again, you'll do this by asking yourself, what is important to me? Is more money important to me, or having the time to see places across the country that I've always wanted to see but didn't have the funds to see them? Is it important to me that I have a company that has my back if I break down and not spend hours on the side of the interstate waiting for help? Are you comfortable with finding your own low cost fuel and paying for it for yourself for extra money in your pocket versus you don't want to do that? You'd rather have some company pay you less per mile, but yet they cover fuel and maybe motel and lodging and stuff like that. See, there's so many differences in these driveway companies that you just can't say, oh, company XYZ is the best. Oh, no, that company sucks. For example, there's a company out there, probably the largest company that does driveway, if not their largest, one of the largest, that has a horrible reputation. Yet they have some drivers that have been with them over 20 years. And some drivers will say they have nothing but problems with this company. And those guys that have been with them over 20 years, those guys and gals, will tell you they've had no problems with them. Now, why is that? Different people have different comfort levels. Some of them can put up with the BS, some of them can't. And this is something you'll have to deal with when you start in Driveaway and start picking companies. What can I deal with? What will I not deal with? That just goes to show that it's important to understand just because me or someone else may like a company doesn't mean you will. I see it all the time. One of the companies I like has a fairly bad reputation, but they fit me great. I call in when I see something on the load board. They'll tell me what it pays. I take it or leave it. And that's another thing. Do you want a load board where you can see all the loads up front? Or do you want to have to call in every day or call in when you need a load to a dispatcher and have them tell you what's available in your area? Some people are not comfortable with looking at a load board and choosing for themselves. Some are. And it's okay to lease onto a company and then delease because there's something with them you don't like. I've always said it takes you about 50 runs with a company to determine if it's going to be a good fit for you or not. Perfect example is with the last two companies I leased onto. One of them, I was leased onto them over 6 months and never took a run with them. They looked like a great company. They had runs. The problem was most of their runs were in the East. And I don't like to run the East. And when they did have a run in my area, I was usually several states away on another run and I couldn't get to it. So eventually I had to send my plates back to them. Great company, look like, I assume, super nice people. I just couldn't make it work for me. Another company I leased onto, started taking runs for them. I really didn't care for them at first and got to know the dispatcher a little bit better. Things started clicking, and now they're probably my second favorite company. I know their policies, I know what they expect, and it's pretty painless right now with that company. But starting out, the first 20 or so loads, I was seriously considering sending their plates back. And then things smoothed out. If you take one or two runs with them, something goes wrong, and you say, "Well, they screwed me over. I'm deleasing." You could be screwing yourself. Newsflash: every company has their faults. It's up to you to decide which of these companies, which of these faults you can live with, and which ones you can't. The unfortunate truth in this business is, if you're looking for the best Driveaway company, you have to go through some companies to find that company. There is no one best Driveaway company. Think about this for a minute. If there was one company heads and shoulders above all else, don't you think all of us drivers would be driving for that company? Who would want to drive for the second or third best company? Not I. You have to lease on, take 20, 30, 40, 50 runs before you decide whether that company is for you or not. Some of these companies, your comfort zone will change as you get more experience. I had one company I really liked, small company, had loads out of my local area, but over a period of a couple years, those loads just, I don't know if they lost the contract or if it was really slow at the factory. It just kind of went away. And I ended up deleasing them because after that, most of their loads originated 4 hours away. And I didn't want to deadhead 4 hours away to start my day. I do every once in a while, but every week it would get old. So just because you lease on and like a company today doesn't mean you'll like it 3 years from now. And it's okay to delease and to lease on to another company. Personally, I hate the onboarding process. If you're looking for the best Driveaway company that fits you and your needs, but it's just something you got to go through. Another thing you want to think about before you just up and delease after a run or two from a company, in my opinion, a couple of the better companies require at least 2 or more years of drive-away experience before they will even look at you. So having said all that, here's a website with a list of some of the Driveaway companies. Like I said earlier, there's over 100 Driveaway companies out there. This one just lists some of the few that are good to call. By the way, I have no connections to this website. It's just another good resource for you new Driveaway drivers looking for a list of companies to consider when you're first getting started. And it's a good list for those of us who've been here a while looking to add to the companies we drive for. our list of companies we drive for.